that Jay mentioned about his kid's sister and being there for her, or growing up without a parent, but you see your other siblings having a parent. That was something that, you know, I looked at when I was growing up too, because I was like, well, Bird had a daddy there, and I knew you didn't really have your dad, but you had like daddies. You had like Uncle Michael, like
he had all
household.
the uncles. Yeah, Kevin,
like,
Michael.
Yeah, and then like Kiki had her daddy, and I was like, what the heck? Where? How come I'm the only person who don't have a daddy around?
Your
like,
daddy came at 11 or 12?
I was 12. I was really happy when he came, but I'm talking about before that happened. I used to be like, Jesus.
And y'all best friends now.
Where my daddy at? I know, Mom. But I'm saying, at that moment in my life, I was looking at all my siblings. I'm just sharing my experience.
Well, yeah.
I was looking at all my siblings like, why the heck they all got daddies around? Where the heck is my daddy at? and so it was really difficult seeing that and not having that experience. But I was very thankful that, you know, I had uncles.
I was going to say, you had uncles too.
Yes.
They loved all my babies.
Yes, they did.
I
And I had my godfather.
remember having a dad. I remember we went to Disneyland.
Well, I felt some kind of way because I never went to Disneyland.
Your dad took you to Disney. I got to look into it. I was like, when was he ever really?
He took her to Disneyland. I didn't go to Disneyland.
One time.
Listen, as a kid, you hold on to that one thing. I love Mickey Mouse. And I wanted a daddy to take me to Disneyland.
I didn't even get to go.
Well, we should go together.
Yes, we should.
Okay, we gotta take all my kids.
Been?
Huh?
Yeah, I've been.
I've never been.
You've never been to Disney?
No, I didn't just say I never had anybody. Nobody ever took me.
You never been to Disneyland?
No, my whole
Wait a
childhood.
minute, didn't y'all go?
Well,
You
Shani
took
didn't
all
go
your
with
I
us.
was living
Oh.
in LA.
Okay,
Shani was
you met
pregnant.
up with him.
I'm not
Okay.
pregnant, but you.
Shani wasn't pregnant.
You was pregnant, Jeremiah?
Well, she might have been pregnant, actually.
No,
I don't even know what year
no,
was that.
because
'Cause I went
Zoe
with-
and all them, you took Zoe.
Well, we only
Yes.
went maybe
but
a
she
year
was
and a half.
pregnant.
Oh,
With the before the.
I think she was early
Oh, the
because like
miscarriage?
yeah, like one of them because I remember she was pregnant.
I
'Cause I
only
think
had
Helen-
one.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, one
I don't know.
miscarriage, one girl.
Okay, well, anyways, I
At
remember
one point,
something happened because it was within the last 2 years, and within the last 2 years, you was with Charles,
And
and
pregnant twice.
yeah,
Alright.
and even because Essence is like a whole year, and then 9 months before that.
Yes.
So,
Okay, yeah.
And then boom. So like I'm saying, time frame. I knew you was talking about you couldn't really travel,
It
Alright.
was.
but yeah. So we went within like the last 2 years. But yeah, because I remember she was in Hollywood and stuff like that when we went.
So just on the record, I have not been to Disneyland.
Once the pandemic's clear and I ain't gotta wear no mask out to the park,
I'm
we can go.
serious.
I ain't trying to wear no mask and hand sanitizer all day. Once it clears up, we'll go.
And we're going to do the family reunion.
And we're gonna do a family reunion.
All at the same time?
If we do it in California,
could, yeah.
boom, boom.
Oh, the family reunion. Never mind. I'm thinking about Christmas. I was like, that's a whole lot. I thought we were going to Hawaii for Christmas. Whatever.
Now that's a bet.
Excuse me.
So, anyways, now I'm sidetracked thinking about Disneyland. But one of Grandma's favorite movies was Imitation of Life. And in the end, and I watched the movie. The only reason I ever watched that movie was because Grandma said it was her favorite, so I needed to know what the movie is about. But at the end of the movie, girl is chasing after the car,
The hearse.
the hearse, and you know,
That's carrying her mother's body.
because she, you know, didn't want anything to do with her mom and
Because
stuff.
her mom was too dark and she was a maid.
Yes.
And she was a lighter woman that I guess came from the master.
I gotta watch it. I never saw this before.
Really? It's a really good. It's a really good
Oh
movie.
my
Listen.
God.
With Mahalia Jackson.
Yes. The
I'm gonna
original
watch it.
one is with Mahalia Jackson.
I watch it with Mahalia Jackson. I'll go back to the bank.
Imitation of Life. That is, it went back into the era of, it wasn't slavery, but we were still maids and housekeepers.
And dark-skinned people.
And dark-skinned, the dark and the lighter complexions, how they were
House
treated.
Negroes to field Negroes.
Yes, and the mother was loved by her employers. However, Her daughter was of a lighter complexion, good hair, and could pass for white.
She was
And
like,
since she was raised in the house with the white folks, they pretty much let her be treated like them. So when she got of age and in school, she didn't want to accept her identity. She didn't want nobody to know that she was birthed from a black woman. So she pretty much disowned her mother when she got in college and around friends that she pretty much wanted to be white instead of black.
So fast forward to the end, y'all should go still watch that movie. But when the mom died, she's chasing after the hearse.
Because she realized that love, that the one person that loved her more than the world itself, she abandoned her and disowned her because she didn't want to be known for being black.
And that was one of the things that I didn't mention about my acceptance, but I've mentioned in conversations with people. I've accepted and didn't grieve in this one because I left everything on the floor for
And that's what I was getting to with the whole bringing that around. So you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So for me, my acceptance with my grandma, like a lot of people's like, why are you not crying so much and why are you so calm? It's like, there's nothing I could feel that I didn't do for this woman. Like I honored the words that I gave to her when my grandfather passed and made sure she got to retire. And of course, there's other people who played a factor in it as well. But as far as for myself and me accepting the fact that I said her former life won't be.
The latter shall be greater.
The latter shall be greater. So the rest of her life was really good and very comfortable.
She lived real good here.
Before she passed, she had somebody that came and cleaned for her. She had somebody who came to the house and did her hair. I went and shopped for her whenever she needed, even through the pandemic. If not, me or Bird went and got the food
She had a personal assistant.
She had a personal assistant. She had everything she possibly needed. She traveled when she wanted to, if she felt like doing it, you know, and had the money to do so. So
money in the bank.
There's no reason for me to chase after the hearse because I've always accepted that woman. I always loved that woman, and I know she loved me. And I left everything, like there was nothing to regret about that. Like I've had conversations with her, like I got to learn a lot about the family. We had our Sunday dinners and we even had Christmas right before she left. Her last dying wish of her birthday last year. Like we really got to do a lot of things for her that left nothing left. Like, I mean, there was nothing to regret. There wasn't a moment I didn't get to spend with her in the last 2 years that wasn't special. Even though I was in and out like many of days, she understood that the reason why I did it, that she would never have to ever endure anything she endured when Granddaddy passed and stuff. Like my decisions is to make sure that everything will be good for her. And I got to do that. I got to spend time with her. Got to talk to her. And there was nothing left. There was nothing left to feel like I'd have to grieve. Like there was nothing, because she lived a long, great life. She lived a good life, and she installed so much in me. I got to spend so many years with her from the beginning of my life, and then also at the end of hers. There's just so many great memories that she's given me. So I have no regrets. I knew it was coming. For one, when my praying and fasting was revealed, I didn't know when it was going to be. Thought I had 2 or 3 years, but at some point you just know when the time is going to come. Plus, she was just ready. She was ready. She'd been missing Granddaddy ever since he passed. Didn't have her mama. Didn't have her one of her best friends in Aunt Pat. Though she had other people, there was ones like she had Uncle Thee, and he was starting to go through his health complications, but pulled through. And at some point, people think, like, when you look at a photo album of all your friends and people that you grew up with, and you start looking and be like, oh, this person's dead, this person dead, this person dead. You think
more obituaries.
You get more obituaries, and you start thinking that's like a positive thing, but you be like, nah, she wasn't. She was really missing those ones that passed before her, and now they're welcoming her when she got there at the gates. So. But me, I've accepted the fact that that she's in a better place and she's doing good, and all the health issues she had got buried on the 12th, and now it's time to just carry on that legacy and keep creating more moments like we had this past weekend, and man, we was only supposed to have one day. We had like 2 or 3 different days straight.
3-day celebration.
3-day celebration.
That's when you go out in style.
And that's
Yeah.
when you go out. And she was on live streamed on TV, and YouTube TV, and you can go in there and watch it again.
And it was like really good. Like I said, I don't want to rewatch this ever because I don't do funeral stuff. Man, we done watched that a couple times already because it was a really good service.
Watch Service Part 2. We had some complications first 18 minutes of Part 1.
Celebration of Life Part 2.
Watch Part 2 and you'll see.
On Inspiring Beauty in Believers.
Subscribe and like.
And like.
And like.
And you will get
Make your
reminders.
algorithms, make sure it pop up for you.
So one of the things, the reason why that came to mind was because a lot of times people say they have all this anger towards their parents or whatever, but then when the person dies, then they have all these regrets. Like, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. And you don't want to leave anything on the table. It's not worth you not forgiving this person and just staying mad at them to have to live your life on the other side of when they're gone and be like, I just wish I had more time. I wish we could have worked things out. You have today that you could be working things out now. Like, I don't want to okay, I'm gonna just throw this out there. Do y'all ever see like any like white people who have crazy funerals? Because I don't ever see any movies. White people with crazy funerals, it's only black people. I'm just throw that part out there. But because only black people, they ever show them like trying to jump into the caskets and stuff like that. I don't ever see that at any, anyways. But I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person at the end of the day, like trying to jump into my mama's casket or my daddy's casket because I'm sorry that I did all this stuff and I wasn't a good child or I hated you and I didn't want to be around you and now I just want you back. And it's not worth all that extra drama at the funeral. Just like let it go and forgive them now.
But what I also learned about other cultures is that a lot of them, they do it very fast. Like my friend just lost her mother, and if she's Native American, they have to bury her within 4 days. And I think in the Jewish culture, they have to I don't know how many days it is. I think you have maybe it's like 3 days to do certain things, and then like your family sits together for a week. But in the African American culture, I think because a lot of our traditions and things were stripped away, there might have been other things that we might have been doing. But now we're just more so trying to make sure our family can get there. And so we're extending it out 2 weeks. And, so I usually it's about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks is kind of the sweet spot so someone can get a flight.
Right. Or they're trying to raise money to pay for it.
That's
a whole another thing. Yeah. That's not either of the reasons why it took so long to bury our grandma.
It's the Rona.
But the Rona in the California. The Rona in the California.
But no, you're fine. But I just think that it's those reasons like the money and the trying to make sure everybody can get there, that kind of like extends things out. And then it's a very stressful process, just like trying to bury someone, and then you add that and money and remorse, and so that kind of makes it all like off kilter. But I think in other cultures, you got 3 days, figure it out, like get there. If you don't make it, no one's like stopping for you, because that's the way. That's also very religious, and so I don't know, but yeah. So that's my 2 cents.
That is interesting. Now I'm thinking about Lazarus. He was wrapped up in the tomb for 3 days from so I don't know.
And they had to be there. He had to be there in that 3rd day, correct? Like otherwise, it was. I can't remember exactly what the scripture says.
He started to stink, and the body starts to rot or something.
Yeah. Sets in.
Oh,
but I can definitely say that with Black culture in itself, we ready for things to pop off at any point. We about that life a lot of times, so things do get a little crazy. But sometimes I think a lot of times though too, you can act or things can happen based upon what you watch or what you listen to, at times too. So a lot of times there's some movies that try to paint us like that, but that was nothing like how our actual funeral for grandma was. And it's kind of crazy that you do have things, and a lot of times, like you said, big ups to these ladies here. I know people try to put a lot of things on me, but big up to these ladies here. That funeral service worked because of the behind the scenes of what they was doing. It was a lot of work,
Yes.
and people don't understand how much work it goes into fine tuning and making sure the order of service was organized.
Programs was straight.
Programs was straight. Like every little detail had to be right, or my mama might have, or Kim slapped you. Man.
I was like, I don't remember doing much, but then I was thinking about them people. I was like, I need pictures.
Yeah, that's like just trying to lock in a church can always be something. It's locking in churches, is meeting with mortuaries, even to the point of us trying to make sure her body didn't get sent to some COVID center because she tested negative so it could be released to the mortuary. There's just so much stuff that families go through, and it's bad enough that you can't grieve, but you got to go into business mode and start trying to do things. And that stuff's stressful, so it just take one moment where the grief come of the anger, and the anger can push in, or the regret, and that's where the hopping into the casket happens, because you're like, why I didn't get another chance, or I didn't get more time, because tomorrow's not promised, or whatever your issue is. I think that's where it comes in, and it's a lot of stress if you cannot bury it, can't bury that person because you gotta sit here and do some sales or some car washes, and you're trying to do that on top of just organizing the service. And people was like, it was just beautiful, and that's because it took a lot of work, a lot of meticulous hours of doing things and keep fine tuning and changing and adding and subtracting and doing those things. But one thing that my mama said, and that she's like, everybody just watch and see, they're not even ready for what's going to be in store on that day. And I didn't even know what was going to be on store that day, but I was in awe of everything that was happening. And I was right there officiating. And I was like, I didn't even know, but I watched it unfold, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Homegoing.
It was a homegoing celebration. That's
For
what
sure.
we definitely said,
We
celebration.
had church too.
Hey.
And my brothers got happy.
That's why I said that had to be God, and that had to be grandma. Like most probably, you know what I'm saying, they ain't seen the four walls, not just because of pandemic, but you know what I'm saying, they just haven't been there. But that's the way she raised us. And that's the way she raised us, and that's the way it ended. You know what I'm saying? It's the way that she wanted it. And the thing is, man, like all this stuff that was going on was nothing new. Grandma saw this before it even happened. She didn't even have to be here physically to know that this day was going to happen like that, because she already put it in place.
And she put it in writing too. That's another thing with journaling that I'm really understanding the importance of it. Writing and journaling, because we're finding so many things that she wrote down. And she listened because a pastor told her to journal, and she had been journaling. And I love what I love about her. And remember this, folks, to date your stuff, because when the kids go back to read things, the dates make a difference. And my mom wrote about 5 prayers that she wrote down in 2010, December 5th, 2010, that she wanted for her family. And when I read it, I'm actually sending it to my siblings. It's pretty much all come to pass, all her prayers. So that's why I'm at peace now, knowing that the things she asked God for, she was able to see, down to her children coming back to Christ, because it was spoken. And even though she knew it, it's actually coming into fruition. And that was her one desire, you know, financial debt free, all those needs that she wanted, praying for her children to just, you know, change their lifestyle, be in their children's life. Every last one of them that I read the other day, it made my heart full. I was like, Mom, you're good, because everything that you asked God for had been answered. And she was at peace, and so am I. And very grateful that she wrote it down and dated it. And that was over 11 years ago. So it took a minute, but it came to pass, and she's gone now. she can rest. And now we just got to keep it going.
We will.
Yes, we will.
We will.
We are great in numbers, that's for sure. Acceptance.
Yes,
I did that.
we get to the acceptance part. So, one last thing that I want, actually, it's two things.
Like, wait.
Okay. So, so I already asked you what you learned from being a mother. What would be one of the biggest things that you learned?
I was never a mother.
I know you weren't a mother
Parent?
from your
just cracking a
mother.
joke 'cause she's saying-
Because this is dear mama from
Oh.
your mother.
Which one?
Any of them, I guess.
Any of them? All of them? Okay, one thing that I've learned from my mother.
Yeah.
I already explained the one from this mother. I really learned a lot about entrepreneurship and perseverance. You know what I'm saying? Because the chips has always been stacked against. You know what I'm saying? My mom, and the aspect if it was, you know what I'm saying, self-inflicted or not. You know what I'm saying? She's always rose above it and found a way. There was never just no excuses like I got 4 children, and even when I stayed with her and stuff like that. Even if she had to lock the refrigerator to make the food last, she would do whatever it takes to teach us, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It didn't matter if we were on HUD or on food stamps. She always made it great. She persevered through those hard times and you know what I'm saying? And did it as a single mother most of the time. So perseverance and entrepreneurship, I already spoke about it. If you're just coming in now, go back and rewind. You'll learn about the entrepreneurship and selling of the chicken dinners and all that. And
Turkey tacos.
Turkey tacos.
Turkey tacos was a hit.
And turkey tacos always came back and was fire. That's what I learned from her. The thing that I've learned, I'll go to Aunt Shelly, and from Aunt Shelly, she's always been a mother to me. One of the things that I've learned with her, definitely, she had a good and soft patience. You know what I'm saying? She was very patient and loving, and she wouldn't always give us everything we would always want, because she, you know what I'm saying, having 4 boys was hard enough, but she was very...
4 boys?
Yeah, if you count David. He was
Oh,
always
you were there too.
I don't know where the 4th boy came in, but I threw that in there because David was over there too. But thank you, Mom, because I did remember this too. Her acronyms are the 3 B's.
That's what I was thinking too. But
The 3
I
B's,
remember they are.
because the 3 B's came in. The crazy part about it, 3 B's came to mind. And the thing is, though I always forget this, I live this out. Anybody can tell you. I live this stuff out. But thank you, Mom, because as soon as I said 3 B's, she came with the phone. But I'll just share her 3 B's. But it was the first one is be a leader, not a follower. Believe in yourself and be positive. And all those things I could definitely say about myself is that I never look to follow anybody's ways. I respect the way that somebody do it, and I can learn and glean from somebody. But I'm going to always be a leader. And that doesn't mean that you don't follow somebody and learn from somebody and be mentored. What it means is that when you know something ain't right, you got to stand up for what's right. And you got to be able to make the decision. And sometimes it ain't going to always go in your favor, and everybody ain't going to always agree with you. But you got to stand strong and believe in what you're doing and what's right for your family. So being a leader, not a follower, believe in yourself. One thing that I know is that I can always bet on myself. If I can't bet on nothing else, it's going to be God and myself. And I'm going to always believe that whatever I believe in my heart, confess in my mouth, is going to always come to pass. Amen. And that's why I do my confessions. That's why I do believe in the things I say. That's why I listen to I am affirmations as well as confessing. That's why I listen to the word and things that are positive, that keeps me rooted and grounded and keeping the things around me to form my world. And last but not least, one of the things I can always say is as well as be positive. One thing that it can be said, and then my sister can attest to it too, we all haven't really had our fathers. and stuff like that. That doesn't mean you cry about it. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it. It's not going to always go in your favor, but what father figures have you had? What older brothers? What kind of men figures did you have? Coaches? Anything. Somebody in your life has been there where they can make it up, because God's going to provide for the fatherless. That, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to have good mother examples for you. If you don't, well, I'll tell you at the end of the day, man, and I understand that he's getting a bad rap right now, but I used to watch the Cosby Show. And that was my thing, man. Dr. Cliff Huxtable, you know what I'm saying? As a black man, as a doctor, and I saw his wife as a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So to follow those examples, or you had Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, I really kind of connected with that one even more, because I live with my uncles, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my uncle and my aunt, and they both were successful in what they did. So you had good father figures in TV, and I wish we had more of that still on TV today. You really don't. You have a lot of people just fighting and arguing, and that's not good, as opposed to teaching some lessons in life. So anybody who's in the film industry, start bringing that back and putting them good examples.
Rainbow and Dre Johnson, the Blackfish.
Oh, you do? I love Blackish. I watch that, and I watch Mixed-ish. So I like all the issues. You know what I'm saying? I watch all. I want to see Oldish. Yeah,
I got you.
it's an ish. Get your ish together. Get your ish together. So now there are some good ones, and I do watch that, and I didn't even know it. So those things. And then from my grandmother, like, man, I could speak on forever, but I'll leave it at this, is that one of the things that I learned from her was love. Unconditional love.
Yes.
Everybody talked about God's unconditional love. You would never see the example till you witness Miss Shirley's love and her hugs. Like I said, that was her superpower. She hugged you. If you wasn't a hugger, you hug after that, because her hugs was real. Most people don't even like to be touched like that. Most people wasn't huggers until they witnessed a hug from her, because they could tell the real and the genuineness in her love. And I won't hold it up anymore, but that's what I learned from my mother figures.
Wow.
I only got one mom.
Well, that's good. You only have one answer to come up with.
I did learn, from grandmother, I did learn about hugging, and there's this like power, and it kind of reminds me back to, like, you know, where two or more are gathered, you know, and it's this connection, it's touching. That's why we lay hands on people in the Christian faith. It's like the transfer of. And that's one reason why you also need to be cautious of who
touch
you.
you.
Say suddenly don't lay hands.
Energy's everything.
Yes.
Can be transferred.
So I was with someone who was like, you don't need to be hugging everybody. Everybody doesn't deserve that from you. And I was like, I never even looked at it that way, because I just grew up like,
You walk into the Stanford house,
Yeah.
you're going to get a hug.
hug everybody. And I also had someone I know who didn't hug like people of the opposite sex, because they never wanted to like offend their partners or stuff like that. And I can understand that too, but I don't know, it just felt a little paralyzing to like not greet people that way. But yeah, so I did learn hugging from my grandmother, and I kind of like, I was speaking with someone not too long ago, and I'm not nearly as open like that as I used to be, for many reasons, but I'm working to get back towards that, and to just have that same, because I give some dope hugs, man.
You do.
All right, but what I learned from my mother is giving. You know what? I swear I wasn't poor. I swear we were not poor, because we still were able to like give and do for other people. Like, I remember as a very small child tithing, probably making $10 and still tithing. Like, I don't remember a point in my life where I made an income and I didn't give. So like giving to the church, giving to other people. I didn't really learn how to share, but I think it's because I kind of was like, I didn't really have to. Like, I was able to give. Like, I received hand-me-downs. I was able to give. hand-me-down clothes to my little sister, but sharing thing. I'm kind of like, okay, so when you bringing that shirt back though, like, I mean, you can wear these shoes, but at the end of the night, like, please lock them back into the library book, like. So that's still kind of my thing. Like I be thinking about people who I let borrow my earrings, and I'm like, bro, I never saw them earrings. Like, do I ask them about them? Like, but giving, like, yeah, like I get you a dope gift. Like, what do you want? I'm gonna get you the exact thing that you want on your list, and I'm gonna make it grand. And I will do like we just did Galentine's, and I just came in.
It was really, really amazing. Put that out there.
And like it stresses people out because they're like, why are you running around the city? Why are you doing all this stuff? And I'm like, I have this thing in my head and I gotta get it out. And so I wanted to have individual gifts for the women because majority of them were single. And so I got like these ring pop candies. It was like, everybody get a ring. And I got Hershey's Kisses. Everybody getting kisses today. And like, I got balloons and stuff. So I walk in the restaurant with like all of these things. And, like,
and roses.
And roses. Everybody get flowers, chocolate, all that stuff. And, you know, like, I was just so focused. I kind of forgot like that we were around other people. But like the restaurant like stopped and is like looking at me like giving, and it's just like I just wanted to make sure like my girls were good, and that was like just me giving and like sowing seeds. Like I know I am single. I'm like, I know what it's like to be single. I'm single. And you know, just to like, you know, like think about this day, Valentine's Day. That's this very made up holiday thing, but that's just something that
overrated.
I just was raised like we give, you know, like I may not be able to give of my space or my sharing things, but I can give gifts and I can give experiences. I can give memorable experiences that people to this day still keep talking about my birthday from last year. And they're like, girl, like that was so much fun. Like I want to give experiences. Like I can't give everything, but I know the things that I can give, I'm going to do them in excellence. And I think that's also like grandma, probably great grandma, mom is excellence. And that's why they're up making sure the dishes are done. And like even my brother was like, when I get home from work, Mom, I'm washing dishes. And she was like, okay. And she stayed up and washed them dishes because she couldn't go to sleep. It's just this excellence. And it's like, and I think in addition to that,
this time.
I think in addition to that is she wanted to take something off of him.
Yes.
Even if it meant her staying up later to do that. And so that's not a sacrifice I could make because I was sleeping. I'll probably wake up earlier to do it. Like, I think packing or something, when y'all was getting ready to leave. Shani was like, I'll wake up early and do it. And then Mom was like, I'm going to stay up late and do it. So,
because we would have been later leaving.
Your car needs taking the morning.
I need to switch.
One of the things that I realized in all of this and just hearing, everybody has a ministry and you just never know what that ministry is. And when you hear about it in the passion of what she's doing, she's changing lives, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't always have to be. And one of the things that I've learned out of all the years of being in church and doing that, people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. So a lot of times you got to give that love. And a lot of times you got to realize that your words can be said all day long, but what does your actions do? Does your actions back up what you say? You know what I'm saying? So you could say like, you know what I'm saying, you're this person, you're going to be under that microscope when you're in ministry, but you got to continually to show love. And that's the thing that's really hard a lot of times, because you're going to go through trials, you're going to go through tribulations, and things are going to have hiccups, but can you still show that love regardless? Because that was one of the things that I saw in my grandmother, is that she was selfless, and that she would give even when she was praying for people who were in pain when she was in pain. So everybody has a ministry, and I think one of her greatest ministries was that she prayed, because her prayers worked. And that's what I said. And I confess that now. I said my prayers work, because if I pray for you, it's gonna work. Because I was like, shoot, my grandma prayed for me and got us out of it. But that was about it. Is that it's just amazing to see, you know what I'm saying, the ministry. Like my sister right now, what she's doing here is ministry. And I think some of the things when you really, and I've been into building churches and doing stuff and being in ministry, some of your most congregation comes from your Bible studies and sitting in the couch like this. That's where a lot of people have certain Bible studies and then invite them to the congregation. It's those intimate settings that you get where you do the most good, I should say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Impact.
And I would say definitely my mom's ministry is hospitality. If it's hospitality in your HR situation or hospitality, I'm giving you some food. That's her thing. It's nothing more than, Sam posted something today that was funny. It's like, the thing you cannot do is when a woman cooks you some food, you don't eat it hot. It's like a disrespectful thing. So when she cook you some food, you better eat that food. Especially if she slaved over that kitchen for 3 hours. And I laughed. I said, when I saw waste not one night. You hear waste not one night. That my mom
always say.
Yeah, waste not one night. That's her ministry, yo. She can definitely, you know what I'm saying, entertain and cook.
Yes.
So blessings. That's why I said, man, people all have ministries in their lives of what they do. I just want to keep seeing people approve and push the marker a little bit further in my people. If it's directly my family people or my people as Black people or anybody connected to me as people, I want to see everybody win.
Everybody's like mantle is different, and like you always say this every time we do an event, like make sure you thank them too, because I couldn't do this without them, and like I know that I couldn't. No, there's no way I ain't doing none of this. Like, what you do, no. What you do, no. What I do, I got you. Right.
Stay in your lane and thrive in your lane. And I think that's the thing that like made, I'm off topic, but that's what made Grandma's celebration so amazing is we all stayed in our lane and thrived at the thing that we are good at thriving at. And so it turned out beautifully because we weren't trying to jump in.
Each sticklers about the thing. I was on that man. He was going to send me pictures about church. And so I had to fly, like, I was going to see pictures of the church. And, like, you were very particular about, you know, certain things. And, like, he was very particular about certain things.
I was trying to make sure everybody was good.
Exactly.
I was meant to do some things and I took detour.
And you definitely were very particular about how your
mama was gonna look.
And you know, and oftentimes why I put it back on everybody else is because everybody sees me, or I'm up on that stage and everybody sees me, and that's why I put it back on the crowd. Like, yo, I'm up here bringing all y'all with me. So who I am today was the molding and shaping of every part that somebody played to make this day what it is. So I would never be one, and it's not a fact of I'm not confident, because I'm very confident in who I am and who God is in me. But the thing is that I never take it for granted, and I do it with respect, and I'll never look at myself on a podium and look down on a person, because everybody has their own trials and tribulations, and I know where we came from. And I'm just thanking God is the fact of the things that I see today are the things He always manifested in our lives. We were always destined to be great and royal, and I would never allow us to be anything less. So I take my whole city, my whole family, and everybody with me when I go to do things, and I would never want to take it for granted or even act like it's just me that made that happen. So that's why I will always forever go back and give it to everybody else, because I'm nothing without everybody else who plays their part in the positions of what we do. And everybody does their things well, and I'm forever grateful of what we do to get ahead in life.
Grandma always said to give me my flowers while I'm still living. So I just wanted to, on video, for us to tell our mother whatever it is that we want to say to her now, so we don't have to wait till, even though I believe it's going to be years and years and years and years down the road, but we don't have to wait to say it at a service, and then she can be able to go back and watch this anytime she wants to. But you got to start with Dear Mama. I was about to start rapping, but you wasn't a crack fiend, so I can't say that. But you're still a black queen, mama.